Bitcoin rallied up by 4.7% yesterday, and it is very close to breaking into a new hourly higher high. So in today's video, we're going to be addressing the short, medium, and long-term views for Bitcoin. Are we on the cusp of a big breakout, or was this just all about grabbing liquidity out of the market? As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's jump right down into the charts. We're going to kick things off on the 1 hour time frame. Our initial expectations in line with yesterday's video was for us to kind of come up to this range of 58,900 to 58,900 to 59,400, right? And we were talking about a rejection on the 200 hourly EMA, and we were looking to see whether or not this was going to be a great place for a short position. We then actually got a closed position just above the 200 EMA 1 hour after, and this actually changes things a little bit because this structured move is now giving us the indication that we are likely to see further moves to the upside before we actually get into the big moves to the downside. So a little bit of hope on the 1 hour time frame. Now, taking a look at our structures here, what's the expectation? Well, looking at this, to me, it looks like we might find some brief rejection on the 200 EMA here, and we will probably see a small move to the downside before we get into that next lift. Okay, so we'll look for potentially coming down and retesting that range around the 50 SMA, which is $58,500, potentially coming down towards the 58,300 to 58,000 flat. Okay, so this is kind of pocket a little down here back into this previous range. Okay, that's a possibility that we could be looking for. Now, our stochastic RSI does still show us with some downward momentum, so we're not yet ready for a big shift to the upside, but it does look to me like we actually have the potential here to continue this run a little bit higher before we get into the next big shorting opportunities. Okay, so it looks like we're heading quite nicely to the upside. This was after coming down to our lower range, of course, with that low coming in at $56,078. Very much as expected. Now, this structured move changing ever so slightly from our expected range yesterday means that we have to be a little bit more agile into where we think it is going. So let's go ahead and try to figure out where we think the high potential is now for Bitcoin here. Okay, so we're likely to see just a fraction more, and it does look to me like we're likely to see a retest of the $60,000 level, and we're likely to find the price coming up to $60,196 to $60,841 right in this little pocket right here, which, if I pull this across, happens to also fall in line with this particular candle right here, which is an institutional candle. Then this will be a fair value gap. Okay, the fair value gap would actually be specifically this position right here, okay, coming in at the $59,621 to $60,846. So this particular area is immensely interesting to me from a smart money concepts point of view, which if I turn on here, you can see that there's this huge area of resistance just a little bit higher than this range where we saw that institutional candle, where we see the fair value gap. And we can also see that there's this pocket right here as well. So we're going to be looking for a brief move, potentially down to that fair value gap that you can see being down here on the price chart, in line with that kind of 50 SMA, maybe a little bit deeper. And then we're going to be looking to grab that fair value gap that I've marked out on the chart just here. And yeah, that looks to me where we're likely to find the big short opportunity now. So it has changed a little bit over the last kind of, 12 to 24 hours or so on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and these things can happen. This is why I do these videos, or at least I try to get these videos out every single day so that you guys can be aware of these developments as I see them here and what I think is likely to occur. So we're looking for a bit of a move to the downside, quick rejection off the 200 hourly EMA, head down towards the 50 SMA, maybe just a fraction lower, and then we'll look for a long opportunity to come in here. That long opportunity, in my opinion, will be somewhere around that kind of 50 SMA, okay, on the 1 hour time frame. Stop loss I'm going to put down lower than the previous swing low, and we're going to target out at least $60,200, which is going to give us a risk reward ratio of about 1.66. This is going to be a great opportunity to go long, in my opinion. That's all it is, though. I'm obviously not a financial advisor. All I can do is share my my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts as I see it, and to me it looks like it's a long opportunity here. A little bit of leverage, 5 to 10x should be sufficient, and some pretty decent gains could be made on there. Now obviously if I am to be trading, I'm going to be trading on either Blowfin or BitGet. These are my go-to exchanges when it comes to leverage based trading. Very, very easy, intuitive to use. If you haven't yet got accounts, check out the links in the description down below. There's some exclusive discounts and bonuses available for new users who sign up with those codes, so go ahead and check them out. But ultimately that will be my take on the 1 hour time frame. We've seen a great move to the upside, lots of volatility, some opportunities to potentially go long on the market before we go into those bigger short positions, which will happen up at that $60,000 level. Let's go up into our daily time frame. Okay, so our daily time frame, as you can still see, is finding resistance on the 200-day EMA, the white line coming through the chart here, currently sat at $59,434. So my expectations will be that we'll rally up and we'll be pulled all the way back down in a single daily candle. I don't think we'll get a closed position above the 200-day EMA. If we do get a closed position above the 200-day EMA, then there's going to be some potential there for the bulls to kind of try to rally the price higher. You can of course see there's major resistance on the 50 SMA of the daily time frame. That is currently sat in at 61,558. I'm not expecting that to get broken anytime soon. The same for the 50 EMA at 61,767. Okay, so all holding up very much for more volatility to the downside before we talk about those bigger runs upwards, which I do think are coming, but I'm looking for us to potentially pull back just a lot more before we get into those bigger runs to the upside, which I do think we're going to be trying to test out that $68,000 to $70,000 level, but I'm looking for the previous swing high of 70,000 to hold. I don't think we're likely to break that high. I don't think we're ready for a higher daily higher high, if that makes sense. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we are likely still to be moving down and touching in on these lower ranges for Bitcoin as the stock market sees continued sell pressure. So we are targeting $40,000 to $44,000 for BTC before we get into the big bull markets of 2025. Okay, so lots of volatility to be expected on the daily time frame. Nothing quick here. We are talking about a lot of volatility, lots of pumps, lots of dumps, lots of liquidity being extracted from the market. Now, this does not distract us from the bigger picture. The bigger picture is a big macro fantastic run to the upside, where we are looking for somewhere between $110,000 and $130,000 to $140,000. Right, we are looking for well in excess of six-figure Bitcoin, but it's going to take time to get there. I'm looking at peak 2025 bull market for us to reach those kind of numbers. Now, as you guys know, I've drawn this out many times before, but we've basically just drawn a curved trend line in here. Touch points are all the previous all-time highs, and that's projecting out where we're likely to find this next bull run. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments and in various different social medias that they say that bull market's over, the top is in, we're done. And it would be the shittest bull market in Bitcoin's history. In fact, of all of crypto history, with only 376%. Many altcoins even barely getting any traction. This is not a bullish market. We've said this already many times before, and we'll say it again. We know this from just the sheer number of views on YouTube videos that essentially there aren't that many people actually in the crypto space. You're servicing a very few people, and most of them are kind of centralized around one or two projects specifically. Okay, we are really just in the build up to a bullish market, very much like we saw in 2019 when we saw this initial big run to the upside from 2019 up to kind of June of 2019. Big move to the downside into 2020, bull market of 2021. And well, they are the same here, right? We're talking about the lows of December 2022 and then going into 2023, the start of a bullish market. 2024 is the correction, 2025 is the peak of the market. We've been through it many times, many different ways. We've also got, of course, what we looked at before in terms of where the election years are and where the election year has an impact on, the price action of Bitcoin. And it's always 1 year after the election year that you have a peak bull market. 1 year after here in 2013, after the election year of 2012, election year 2016, peak of the bull market in 2017, election year 2020, peak of the bull market 2021, election year 2024, peak of the bull market 2025. Okay, so we've been through it a number of different times. The outlook hasn't changed. Everything that's going on right now is just part and part of dealing with the world of crypto. You guys can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet joined us on our free Discord server, what are you waiting for? Check it out, linked in the description down below. And guys, if you haven't done so yet, check out my second channel where I cover the technical analysis on Cardano every single day.